Hello, YouTube. Today we are going over Furious Melee Flak, our Blade Fury Flak build, and we are using the Fadeaway Gorillas in the Mist for this particular build. So with that, let's get into the items and the skill tree. So we are using the Gatlin Blade Fury so that we have an automatic shot going off there, and we are using the action skill end next 2 mags bonus corrosive damage. So the big reason we picked that is because I did want to take advantage of the extra 200% corrosive damage that the bounty counter stacks up, and decided to go with melee action skill, or melee attacks have a chance to apply terror to yourself. So because we are using the fish and the blade fury, we are constantly doing melee damage, meaning we can stack up that terror, and we are using the ammo regeneration on our corrosive old god, using corrosive so that we get extra corrosive damage with those next 2 mags, and stacking with our bounty hunter to just deal more corrosive damage. And we're using the ammo regeneration so that we do not have to reload. In the rare circumstance you are going to have to reload, say you've missed a bunch of shots or takedowns going a little long, you will typically only reload 1 time, meaning you always have 1 extra stack of that corrosive damage going. And because we're using Fadeaway, we are constantly cycling that action skill, and the action skill ending adds in that extra magazine, so you are constantly having those 2 magazines of corrosive damage. Other than that, we are using a Psycho Stabber for a few instances where we just want to use the 150-90 throw a fish and just take advantage of that damage. As always, I do like to add an EMP5 on my builds just for the extra movement speed. And as far as artifacts go, using the Knife Trade Static Charge for the extra tendrils from the Static Charge, and of course, the Knife Drain allows us to just have a little bit more survivability. If you don't want to take advantage of the corrosive setup, I would advise either going a Revolter and Cosmic Stalker setup, or going the Frozen Heart and Cosmic Stalker setup. The Cosmic Stalker is going to allow our hunt skills to be 25% more effective. Now in skill tree, we are using Fadeaway, so I did want to go ahead and cap out on green and red trees since we are using gun as well. So in red tree, we are going 3 and leave no trace for the extra chance to get ammo back on our critical hits. 2 in second intention, just in case we do have to reload, we want to make sure we're reloading quite quickly. 5 in interplanetary stalker for the extra damage per stack. 5 in hunter's eye for the extra damage overall, depending on what enemy type we're fighting. 3 in head count for the extra cooldown duration. 5 in ambush predator for the critical hit damage. 3 in big game for the extra duration on our hunt skills. 3 in most dangerous game for the extra gun damage. 1 in galactic shadow for the critical hit damage. 1 in megavore for the extra critical hit chance. 2 in self-repairing system for the health regeneration. 5 in furious attack for the extra gun damage per stack. 5 in eager to impress for the extra cooldown. 1 in all my BFFs for the health regeneration. 1 in lick the wounds so that anytime we are in fight for your life and we don't have an enemy to kill, or an enemy is just out of range, whatever the circumstances, we do have the pet to give us a revive. 3 in turn, tail, and run for the extra health regeneration and the damage reduction while we are moving. Because we're using Fadeaway and Gorilla in the Mist specifically, I did want to pick up 5 in Hidden Machine for the extra damage. 3 in Fast and Furious for the extra gun damage and pet damage, and the movement speed is a pretty nice pickup. Now, to touch base back on Hidden Machine, basically because we're going into Fadeaway, the enemies are going to be focusing on our pets a little bit more, and because they're not focusing on us, whenever they are attacking a different target, we are getting that bonus damage, and that's why we wanted to go ahead and pick up the 5 out of 5 in that for the 30% bonus. 1 in Rage and Recover for the health regeneration, and of course picking up Power Inside, so that anytime we are activating our action skill, we are getting 25% extra damage, and because we are using Fadeaway, that is continuously up quite often, meaning we're just constantly getting an extra 25% damage. We do not pick up anything in Purple Tree, If you are going to go something that is not ammo regeneration, it is kind of nice to pick up agility training just for some extra reload speed. In Blue Tree, we pick up 1 in Ferocity for the extra pet damage, 1 in Go for the Eyes for the extra critical hit damage for pets, and 3 in Persistence Hunter for the extra gun damage. 5 in Frenzy Hunter for the chance to get up to 48% extra damage, depending on the amount of stacks you have. 1 in He Bites for damage reflection for the pet, and 1 in Who Rescued Who for the extra health regeneration. And as always, with any time we are doing elemental damage, we do pick up the Spectral Scorcher so that we get that extra elemental damage passive when our pet is alive. As always with my builds, I'd like to point out that I do have all of the Guardian Rank perks. If you don't have things like Hollow Breaker or Groundbreaker, Hollow Point or Groundbreaker, you are going to see a decrease in your damage, especially on this build because of the way Groundbreaker works with melee attacks. Whenever that goes off, you are going to see some pretty crazy damage increases. So with that, guys, let's get into the mobbing and bossing section of this. We'll see you on the other side. Alright guys, so that was the build showcase. If you enjoyed that, there will be a link to the Discord down below where you can pick up the save file and the save file section if you are on PC, so you can have some fun with this build yourself. If you have anything else you'd like to see before Wonderlands comes out, or have any questions about a particular build style or character style, play style, let me know. I'd be more than happy to cover that. With that, guys, I've been your local sassy SwinLaw. Stay classy, Pandora.